can mind the shop for as long as you want me to.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin, I'm a geek, you're watching Kevin the Geek, and the bells are ringing in this latest episode of Goodnight Sweetheart. We're on the series 4 finale, episode 11, where I presume Phoebe's going to give birth, but there's only one way to find out. A new day is dawn. A lot. And they're worth it. Lovely. Fair dues. Clive? Who's Clive? Of course. Yeah, I mean, well, mine's in a bun, but still. Because you got a wife. Nice. Can't have it without black pudding. Ooh, excuse me. Wow. Yeah. No, you can't. Hmm. Yeah. Definitely. Uh-huh. Want a bet? Again, what's the prejudice with a ponytail? So if Yvonne falls in love with this guy, yeah. No, you can't. You can't love them both equally. Indian. Indian. You do need it. Uh-huh. Same thing. Hello. Yeah. Steady as you go. Hmm. Photosynthesis. So will I. It's it's yeah, but don't like that. Yeah. So much for not pacing. I don't think I've ever seen him smoke before. Yes, but that's not the point. Oh, nice choice of song. It's a bit so bad. Mm-hmm. Oh. 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 What's wrong with the ponytail? Yeah, you did. Yeah. It's not a good look for Gary, is it? You know, like when obviously you've got the universe's biggest bigamist, you know, across time and space, of course that is. You know, when he's obviously cheating on Yvonne all the time, literally about to have a baby, has just got married to another woman, and yet he's having to go at her for, you know, potentially maybe going off with someone. Like, have a look at yourself in the mirror, Gary. Ugh. Uh-oh. Yeah. Oh shit. Oh. Oh my. Sort of. Maybe take away the brandy from her. Well, actually, not that it's going to make a difference now. Oh. Yeah, I'm with you, Reg. At least I haven't gone with the traditional fainting. Go make a cup of tea. Oh shit. Oh, right. Wow. See some cold water. Oh, that was very good. I'll do it. Cold water. Oh, he missed it. Oh, don't go down this route. Careful. Bullshit. We've seen the evidence of that. Why Montgomery? Mm.
Goodnight, sweetheart.
Very nice end to the episode there. I mean that was kind of predictable. That was going to happen. You know, it's obviously been set up pretty much all series. But something that weren't expected. And one of them, I would say, actually, for not only this episode, but I think for this series, I really like the addition of Margie as a character. Because we always had Reg talking about his Mrs. Minnie, who we never actually saw, and it was sad, because Reg is such a lovely character. The idea that he's got a wife who's obviously playing away is horrible to think, because he's such a nice guy. And the fact that he's now with the mother of his child, I love that. I love that for him. I love the character Margie. She's a lovely addition, like I said. And long may they continue the Reg and Margie ship. I'm definitely down for that. Equally, obviously, we should really talk about this. Is now the full series that we've had with both Yvonne and with Phoebe in their new incarnations, with Emma Amos and Elizabeth Carling. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, I really like these two with the versions of the characters that they're playing. Nothing against the ones that came before, but obviously Elizabeth Carling, who plays Phoebe, she really suits the more motherly nature of the character, which I think is going to be now evident that we're going to see in the next two series. Now with Yvonne and with Ron, on one hand, I'm glad they didn't go down the cliche route, and on another hand, I think it would have been interesting to see what would have happened if they had gone down the cliche route of them two having a drink together and instead had a bit of a moment. That would have been interesting, because obviously we are in a situation where Ron is often taken advantage of by Gary. Gary is taking advantage of Yvonne with his double life and his double standards and everything. And so it would have been really interesting if they did have a drunken fumble, what would that have potentially have led to? As it is really setting up some interesting stuff of what we're going to have to deal with now for the next two series. So Yvonne has lost all of her money and all of Gary's money. And that is pretty crappy for Yvonne. Yvonne's really gone through the ringer this series. She's literally lost the baby that she was pregnant with. She quit her job because of the stresses of it, which obviously led to that, and has been obviously trying to go on this journey of self-discovery and work out who she is and on what she can bring to the relationship and what makes her happy. And it's been great to see that character development rather than just be that sort of annoying, nagging woman that she has been for the last three series with the previous incarnation of the character. And to see her yet again at rock bottom will be interesting to see, particularly with what I can only presume Gary being around less. Because had Yvonne been pregnant and had the baby, Gary would have literally been trying to split his time between both time zones. As it is, the fact that Phoebe has given birth, he is married to the woman, they have a child together, I can just see it that he is going to want to spend more and more and more time in the past rather than in the present, because it would almost feel like he's got more to do, he's got more to live for, if you like, in the past. And so maybe we're going to start to see Gary and Yvonne drifting even more so than we've already had. That coupled with the way that Yvonne's been feeling with the really crappy stuff that's been going on in her life, that's going to be a problem. What is also going to be potentially be a problem for Gary is the fact that seemingly Ron has lost his business, which is another example of the absolute crap that Ron has had to go through, with the breakup of his marriage. And this is something that I feel is ridiculous. The fact that I'm not a big fan of the way that divorce is often portrayed in media, in TV and films and stuff like that. Obviously, I've never had first-hand experience of it, and I don't know how accurate it really is to real life. But it always seems to be that the guy often gets a real big bum deal and will often have to lose the house, he might lose his business, or he may have to pay so much money in alimony if you're in America, because I don't really think that alimony is a thing in the UK. If it is, it's not nearly as widely spoken about as it is in America. But that's the thing. So in this scenario, let's say alimony isn't a thing. They've got no kids, so in theory they have to divide their assets and whatnot. And I believe, from the sounds of it, obviously Stella was going to be keeping the house. So she's got pretty much a big substantial portion of their assets, basically. And in theory, if they've been going in throughout this period of time that they have been, let's work under the assumption they've been paying 50-50 for the mortgage, and they put in, say, 50-50 on the deposit. Okay, let's just take that as an example. In theory, you've split up as a couple. you should get your equal share of assets. Understandable. I think we're all on board with that. I think that's a reasonable assumption. So in theory, they go, okay, so 50% of the house is Ron's, 50% of it is Stella's. So if she wants to continue living there, she has to buy him out and effectively pay him, his share of it, basically. So whether that's a case of they get a valuation, they remortgage it, and they go, okay, so it's worth 200 grand, let's say. He gets given 100 grand. So that then enables him to go off. He's able to move out, to get his own property, whether it's rental or buying, whatever the case may be. Then when it comes to the business, that really depends on what the situation is. Because again, if he's put all the money into it, he's put all the business into it, he is the one that, okay, you can maybe make an argument that she wants to have some aspect of it, but it's predominantly his business. He has built everything up. So even if they go, okay, you want a share of it, then okay, fair enough, but you shouldn't be entitled to much if it's his business. And this is always the problem in these scenarios, where the way that movies and TV portray it is often that they go, the woman wants to live in the manner in which she has been accustomed to. Okay, fair enough. Great for you, love. If you want to do that, go get yourself a job. Because obviously I don't know what Stella does. I don't think it's ever been explained what Stella does for a living, if she has a living. If she doesn't have a living and she's literally relying on the income of Ron, as far as I'm concerned, and it may sound harsh, that's on her. It shouldn't be down for him. If you go, okay, we're now splitting up, he should not be forced to then say, I need to give you a certain amount of my money each month, or whatever the case may be, in order to subsidize your spending and you living. At the end of the day, you could have had an opportunity to get a job, to earn your own money. You haven't. You've decided to live off my earnings. I don't know. I don't know if people would agree with me on that one. But as far as I'm concerned, a partnership is exactly that. You should be working in partnership. And as soon as you have a relationship dynamic where, for whatever reason, whether it's financial, spiritual, materialistic, whatever term you want to use, if one aspect of it is skewed in one way towards one party, then the other party is going to get screwed over at some point. That is just ultimately what's going to happen. And that seems to be the suggestion at this stage. I would say that it's almost like Stella's got the house, and either just the business has been going under, which would be Ron's fault, or Stella has somehow got the business as part of the divorce. Which, if she has, what the hell is she going to do with it? She's not a printer, or at least not that we know of. So, yeah, I don't really know where we're going to go. But it is at least going to be interesting, because presumably Gary is now going to want to still get his white fivers. He's going to want to get his identity papers and all this kind of stuff he needs to get by. And if Ron's not going to be able to provide them, it's going to be an interesting scenario. So, we will be back with Goodnight Sweetheart in the new year. I did contemplate bringing it in next week. But I was debating, I was going backwards and forwards, because obviously the 25th is going to be part of the Super Geek Week, so I wouldn't be doing an episode there anyway. So I was like, do I literally do Series 5, Episode 1 next week, and then literally wait 6 weeks to continue on? I thought, no, it's a nice break. For the sake of 1 week, I'll do something else for next week. And then it will literally then be a case of, in the new year, we can start, or literally go on a week-by-week basis, do Series 5, which I think Series 5 and Series 6 now both have 11 episodes from my memory, which would literally mean that effectively 20 weeks plus a few weeks extra for the Goodnight Sweetheart, for the Super Geek stuff. We'd be finishing, I'd say somewhere probably about middle of the year, maybe May, June, July, something like that. That would be my rough estimate. With that, effectively, three episodes a week, so Yeah, about 6 months. So presumably about June-ish sort of time, I'd say would be about there or thereabouts. So yeah, that's another series done for this year. Series 4 completed. We'll move on to Series 5 next year. So, hey, as always, drop your comments below. Subscribe if you're new. Turn on notifications. And, of course, do please consider supporting me over on Patreon to get early access, exclusive content, and guaranteed reactions. But until next time, my name's Kevin. I'm a geek. You've been watching Kevin the Geek.